WeatherScope. Top of the morning, everyone. It is 1:30. It is Thursday, the 21st of August, and we thank you for joining us. I'm Bruce Edwards. This is Vivian Brown. Glad you're here. I was just looking at what's going on today, and today is State Fair Day. I mean, a lot of the state fairs get underway today. For example, in Minnesota, the State Fair in St. Paul gets underway. In Missouri, the State Fair in Sedalia. In New York State, Syracuse is the site for the start of the State Fair. And in Salem, Oregon, the State Fair kicks off today. And I mentioned earlier, the East Coast Surfing Championships in Virginia Beach, Virginia, start today. And I think the ocean's probably still a little angry with that front that cruised off, so there might be some pretty good little waves there to start the championships. Be careful out there, though.
That's right. We've had some messy weather over the northeastern corridor. We've had locally heavy rains, as much as 11 to 13 inches, believe it or not, around Atlantic City.
Yeah, unlucky 13.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at our latest Doppler radar, which gives us an estimate of the rainfall totals. Now, it's kind of a running tally of the precipitation in the last 24 hours. You can see it's been heaviest along the New England coast, where we have the reds, the pink shadings here, and that's right in here, southern New Jersey, around Atlantic City. 13 inches. Of course, that is a record. It shatters the record, an all-time record. We've never seen that much rain in a 24-hour period around Atlantic City. The old record was about 6.5 inches. So, you know, we've just about more than double the record across the area. So it's been locally heavy right in here. And that's because we have a frontal boundary in the general vicinity. Individual waves of low pressure developed along that front, and more wet weather expected as we go through the day today along the New England coast. Just a broad cyclonic flow building here, so we'll still be left with clouds even though the front has moved through the eastern Great Lakes area. So still some showers expected today across Michigan and Wisconsin, and low clouds will linger back across northern Illinois around Chicago. Most of Minnesota, though, in the clear here, so for the State Fair, we're looking good in Minnesota. But notice how we are beginning to see some drier air building right behind the front as it drapes across this area. Much, much drier air, and a beautiful day shaping up across a good part of the south with our trailing cold front. Look at Tennessee and Kentucky, the dry air here. This is our water vapor loop, and by the way, the darker colors indicating the drier air. We still have some moisture along the immediate Gulf Coast, and you can see extending all the way to the New England coast. We have some drier air here, central California, Northern California, much of Oregon and Washington State. Remember yesterday we were talking about the remnants of Ignacio. Well, we think that'll continue to move northward into western Canada around British Columbia. So let's go from our water vapor loop to the latest satellite and radar. And you can see all the dry air that's building across much of the Mississippi Valley here, the Tennessee River Valley. But the bulk of our heavier rain we have this morning along the New England coast. It is wet near the Cape Cod area, Martha's Vineyard, Hyannis, even back to Worcester, Mass, Boston. We have the wet weather here. And we're forecasting a high today, Boston, of only 62 degrees. You know, it feels like fall across much of the Northeast, and that'll be the case even as we work our way through the weekend. A little closer inspection now, Boston, the downtown area. You can see the heavier rain moving in from the west side, so you want to allow a little extra driving time on this Thursday morning as you commute to work. Kids going to school in the Boston area, yeah, you want to make sure that you include the umbrellas as you send them off to the bus stop this morning. You can see around Providence, Rhode Island, and Hartford, even a little farther south now. We're starting to clear out New York City, and even down toward Atlantic City, we still have some rain lingering along the southern New Jersey coastline, but the heavier rain is offshore, and this will continue to move off to the north and east. We've had some gusty winds, even reports of some beach erosion yesterday with our strong winds along the New England coast. But it'll remain fairly unsettled today over the northeast as we have these individual areas of low pressure invading the region. And again, with that northerly flow here across the northern Great Lakes, it'll still be a little clammy across the Great Lakes region. High pressure is building in the wake of our surface front, though, and drier, cooler air building across this region. We have dew points only in the 50s, but right out ahead of that surface front, dew points are in the mid-60s and 70s this hour, but we think the front will continue to push southward, and that's going to bring us drier, cooler air over a good part of the southeast, forecasting highs today in the mid-80s around Atlanta and low humidity levels. Very, very pleasant. With more details on your forecast, here's Bruce.
Okay, we got it coming your way starting off at midday today. Once again, you can see the low pressure area is really going to create some havoc here on the northeast, while the rest of the east is looking in pretty good shape. Now there's a upper level low sits back here. The low pressure coming up the coast will bring some locally heavy wind and rain here, so it's going to be blustery, so bundle up. Back towards the central lakes, bring some wet weather gear because there will be scattered showers around. Scattered's the operative word. Now see, we're only talking a tenth to a half an inch of rain, but you get into the Jersey Shore still, up to Long Island, into Rhode Island, the Cape, eastern New England. We're talking at least an inch of rain, if not several inches. It's going to be a little wet, so be careful here. Allow extra travel time. We'll see highs, as Vivian mentioned, only in the 60s here, some 70s to Long Island and Jersey. 80s will creep up towards D.C. and Richmond. Now, as we work to the south, the front sags slowly south, so drier, less humid air moves into Atlanta and Birmingham, but still unsettled in Florida, where the front dies out. We could see some strong thunderstorms firing here with an inch or more of rain around Tampa and Orlando over to Daytona, but they will, again, be scattered. And you can see the cooler air coming in with highs in the 70s around Knoxville and Chattanooga, 80s pushed down into South Georgia. Upper low will rotate in some little disturbances like spokes on the wheel, so there'll be some scattered showers here in the lakes. Up around Alpena, Saginaw Bay could see half an inch to an inch of rain, otherwise lesser amounts. And then late this afternoon and tonight, the little area of low pressure on the tail end of the front could trigger some strong to severe storms into Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, produce a half an inch to an inch of rain. It'll be hot there in the 90s, cooler 60s into the Great Lakes. Stay tuned. Travel-wise, coming your way after you update your local forecast.
Housekeeping. Excuse me. Checking out? We'll change the room.
Holiday Inn hotels are undergoing a $1 billion renovation to make every Holiday Inn as good as the best Holiday Inn.
Oh, you're back. Your toothbrush.
That means we're changing a lot more than the sheets. Holiday Inn, on the way.
Oh, Fluffy, a bug. Let's call Terminix.
Call 1-800-TERMINIX for any bug problem. Nobody offers a better money-back guarantee.
Don't call Terminix if you want to see Cat again.
Nobody bugs like Terminix.
Fluffy?
The Krylon touch means making the old new.
The Krylon Touch